Can tell it here. Just doing another live. Oh, where's my little lens cleaner here? Let me just clean this up real quick. Sorry, guys. I just had to clean my lens there for a second. Oy, my goodness. It seems like I came on here this morning wearing the exact same attire, and now I'm back here this evening. This night, actually. It's quite late. 10:44, and I'm in my PJs again. I didn't even get to come and do the in-between because it's being quite busy. Like, life's being busy for us. As you could probably see, my schedule is full again. It is full. So we got a lot of things that we're working on right now as we are moving soon. So it's just one of those times. Remember when I said June was like super busy? Was it June? Yeah, June was super busy. Understatement of the century. Understatement of the century. Yeah, that was a massive understatement, actually. Because it's towards the end of June. What date are we on right now? 27, 28? 28. And reaching the end of June, and July just looks just as busy, if not more busy. It's going to be more busy. So I have a few things I'm trying to do during the day, but then there's kids, obviously. I'm trying to do them at the same time. Like, I got to clean the windows because there's still tape on the windows from when we put up the foil, whatever, when it was really hot. I don't know if you remember last summer. Oh, last summer. Honey, last summer was something. The heat wave. Telling you, that was not cute. We had to put foil on the windows. We had to bring one of the mattresses down into the living room and sleep in the living room because even with the AC on, like, it was not doing nothing for us. It wasn't doing anything. Oh my gosh, it was hectic last year. I'm so glad this summer, for now anyways, it's not crazy hot. So yeah. That was something else. Anyways, yeah, so that's why I've been kind of busy trying to get all these things done. I'm trying to get these, when you're moving, you don't realize there's always little things that are left behind. There's always little things, and you have to get on them. You have to get on them early because there's always going to be something left. And that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to just pack away little, like, not pack away necessarily, because I mean the movers pack everything, but there's little items, little things that are easily lost, or you can't really classify them in anything specifically, or things that maybe I need to throw out altogether. So I'm trying to get those things collected, and there's some things that up here, like, that are kids things that are just randomly on my kitchen windowsill, like this digger, because it broke and it needs to be fixed. I gotta either fix it or throw it out. It's just my son was like begging me to fix it because he's like, he really likes it. He's like, it's my favorite. This is what he does every time something breaks. He's like, it's my favorite. It's my favorite. And I'm like, okay, we'll fix it. He's just adorable. I love my kids, guys. You know I love my kids so much. I love my little pumpkins. They're sleeping. This is why now I can come on here and do my live, because those little rugrats are asleep. They're sleeping. And so is everybody else. And I should be sleeping right now, but I thought, you know what? I miss you guys. I miss you. I should just come and do a live and say hello and just talk about what I'm up to. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. There's a lot to do, between taking care of kids, getting ready for a move, And also just the energy work that I'm doing lately. I don't know if you remember me saying that I'm doing a lot of rebalancing work, a lot of realigning work, and a lot of recharging work just to get myself in that state of deliberate creation versus default creation. I do not, I I kind of fell in the slump for a little bit of like the default creation where I'm just moving through life and it seems like life is happening to you. But then if you really take the time to quiet down and connect with that deeper part of yourself, you realize that life is not happening to you. You are happening to life. You are happening to life, honey. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm just trying to use all the tools I have to realign, and writing is one of those things for me personally that I find helps with my creative process, my realigning process. So let's say if I have an intent I want to focus on, for instance, I'm just going to share this with you because I did say previously in another live that I will try my best to share this with you guys. So let's say there is an intent that I want to focus on, to just get myself more aligned with that thing. Let's say it's clarity, for instance, right? I just want more clarity in general in life about, because sometimes in life when you get into that, what is it called? When you get into that mode where life kind of takes you, or you I guess you perceive it as if life is happening to you and that you have no creative control whatsoever, you lose a lot of clarity and things feel like they're happening to you, or you feel like you have no control, or you feel as if you're unlucky, or I'm sure you guys understand what I'm saying, but clarity is something that I find if I start meditating on clarity specifically, it I start to experience more clarity, and a lot of those things that were driving me to believe that life was happening to me just they just kind of fizzle away. They just fizzle away. So what I do usually, I just use pen and paper, whatever's handy. Right now, I have a whiteboard and dry erase marker. So what I do is this. So I just start to just ignore this bottom part. That's just a list of things I need to do. So I just start to write. Obviously, it's backwards, probably from on this camera. I just start to write like clarity, 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 clarity. The more I repeat the word, you can speak it to some people. Speaking certain things is like affirmations almost for them. But then I find writing is a lot more powerful for me personally. Um, I feel the vibration, the emotion of that word a lot more when I write it. Maybe because I'm a writer as well. Like I love writing poetry, short stories. That was my thing back in the day. Um, like especially like high school, even university, like college, I would say. It was one of those things I was just really good at, just naturally good at. So as far as expression, this is an expression that comes more naturally to me than speaking, because you guys have probably heard I've said many times I'm a very quiet person actually in reality. Like when I say reality, I mean just when I'm not doing these lives, because you guys get the same type of glimpse of me speaking to you on lives all the time. it doesn't make sense for me to come on a live and just be quiet. So you're never gonna get that side of me where I'm just quiet, but majority of the time I actually am quiet. I'm a very quiet person. Speaking is not necessarily my strong suit, but writing is. So maybe that's why there's more power in writing down my intent. My intent. So I'll just keep writing it until I feel it more and 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 more. Or until I'm just tired and then I'll stop, go to sleep, do it again the next day. Or maybe by the next day I'll be feeling a lot of clarity and I'll focus on something else. Like ease, like because obviously, again, when you're going through life as if life is happening to you, sometimes things seem harder in life, a lot harder than they seem, or a lot harder than they should be, or things just, yeah, things you just face more challenges. So, again, what I do is I focus on writing ease, ease over and over again. So, same thing. And what I find is when I focus on ease, what begins to happen is that it's almost as if the universe orchestrates certain things into my life that just makes things easier. Things that even were on my list to do, things that maybe I was battling with inside to figure out how am I going to get those things done. I feel like the universe moves everything into position and orchestrates exactly what I need at that point to get that done. It's almost like the pen is my magic wand, you know? That's almost like what it is. Like, we have so much more power than we realize we do because we're so focused in a world where we're told that our power is outside of us and not within us, where in reality it's actually within us. And everything else is just a reflection of that. And sometimes we project that inner power to the outside, to things and places and um, things we make up or things, we imagine, figments, certain figures. That's when you start getting into the realm of religion, obviously. Which is fine because there's still power in that. That's what people don't realize. Like, religion is not the issue, it's how you don't realize that the power that you're given, that you giving to a certain religion or a certain leader of your religion is power you already have inside of you. You were made with that power. You came into this world with that power. It all resides within you. So there's nothing wrong with religion being religious as long as you understand that true spirituality is understanding where the source of that power comes from and that you are connected, forever connected, internally, infinitely connected to that power. It is not something that is separate. It's not separate from you. But then again, we live in a world of separation where everything's always being separated, either by class, by color, by this, by that. There's so many reasons why humanity wants to keep separating and separating and separating things, but everything is actually quite connected and really one big harmonious thing. Anyways, so this is what I do. Clarity, ease. There's a few other things that you can focus on as well, but make sure that it's simple things. Don't go right into things like abundance, for instance. Like, you wanna be wealthy, you wanna make lots of money. Don't go into things that you have a very, very too much of a hard time with, because there's going to be a lot of your own inner resistance against that. So it's going to take a lot more work to get to the point where you start feeling that emotion and feeling that vibration of whatever that word is. So you want to start with just simple things like clarity and ease and work your way up the emotional scale as you go. But this is basically what I do. It's so simple, guys. It is so simple, and it's helped me to create so much beautiful stuff, so much amazing things around my life that I see all the time. And I don't know. I feel like I can create anything I want. Like I can literally create anything I want using these methods and attract to myself whatever it is that I need at any given moment in time. Um, and it's just something that you just keep practicing and doing regardless. Like, I mean, even with people, like perceptions of people, like if you're having, issues with certain people, you just start. There's something called what is it called again? I forgot what it's called, but it's a form of a wheel where you can start putting down their characteristics of what you're like in the center of the wheel you put what you would like to experience those people as, or even a thing or a place, what you would like to experience them as. And then outside of the wheel, as you go down this, almost like spokes on a bicycle wheel, you start listing obviously how you feel about them right now, and try to, if it's like frustration or anger or whatever, and then try to slowly mention or say or write down things that will make you feel even just a degree better. So on each spoke as you go around, you literally are mentioning things that make you feel a degree better than the last statement, and a degree better than the last statement, and a degree better than the last statement, degree better than the last statement, and you just keep going until you get back to the top, and then see how you feel. And it has to reflect how you're feeling, because you're moving yourself up the emotional scale around a certain subject. And it really does actually open your mind and change your perception of that person, that thing, or whatever. So you don't have to always only be locked into experiencing that thing or person in just that light or that lens. It's just a powerful way of seeing things, or doing, or I guess doing the work to see things in the way that serves you best. And that's the whole key. You want life to serve you. You want, people, things to serve you. You don't want things to just be like in your life and it's not of service. That's just a very depressing and sad life. And unfortunately, that's the life most people live, because they're taught that you have to wrestle everything to the ground. And if you're not able to wrestle everything to the ground, then you have to just hate or dislike something or whatever. That's not, that's just how people are taught, unfortunately. But we're really taught away from our own inner power, um, which is unfortunate, really. Because if we were taught towards our inner power more, we would be, oh, what a world that would be. What a world that would be. Much, 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 much better, happier place to live. But it's happy for those that know and understand that life is what you make it. Life doesn't make life doesn't live you, you live life, right? Boy, I'm just dropping this stuff. All right. I just wanted to share that little bit of beautiful information with you guys. Um, I'm the kind of person, like I feel like I've been doing this work so long. It doesn't mean that when you do this kind of work that um you don't feel anything in life, or you don't feel emotions, or you don't feel sad, or you don't feel whatever. If anything, you might actually feel the contrast of something negative happening even more so than when you don't do this work. Because if you, it's like this, like, the analogy of a frog. If you put a frog in cold water and you heat the pot slowly, it'll just get cooked and not even realize that it's getting cooked, and it won't even jump out and fight for its life or anything. It's the same thing with humanity. A lot of people are just living a very toxic, funky situation, and they're just stuck in it, and they don't realize that they can get out of it, that they have the power to get out of it. They just accept it as life, and they just live like that the rest of their lives. Whereas if you are like the frog is, if you try to put the frog in hot water, as soon as it feels the steam, it's going to try to jump and get away, right? it probably won't even let you catch it in the first place. And that's the same thing when you do this kind of work. You're going to feel the disparity between your your state of being aligned and being in, your inner peace, and just your higher vibration. You're going to feel the disparity between that and when like something negative happens. You're going to feel it even more because you're vibrating at this level where you're feeling a lot of inner peace and a lot of harmonious vibration or experience. And then all of a sudden something that's not so harmonious or peaceful happens, and then you feel it much deeper, obviously, because it's not something that you reside in all the time. So that's another thing you have to be mindful of, because that's one thing I noticed with myself, that when I do experience something negative, I do get really upset about it, and I give myself that time and that allowance and that platform, that stage to just experience whatever emotions I'm experiencing, express whatever emotions I'm expressing, without any guilt or judgment towards my emotions. Those are my emotions. That's how I feel about it at the time. So I'll express it. I'll say it. I'll shout it. Whatever I need to do, I'll get it out, and then it's done. And then I move on and I go on to the next thing. I'm like, okay. Um, but then that's just that's just anyways. I'll teach you guys more stuff. I'll tell you guys more stuff as I go on. That's just some of the stuff that I wanted to show you guys. Oh, this is cute. This is actually something else that we've been doing. Um, my hubby's friend, the one I told you, his best friend, who's more like his brother. I call him his brother. I don't call him he's his friend, but I say he's a brother from another mother, because he has been like the most loyal friend, he's had, as far as I can tell, and the rest of us can tell anyways. A lot of other people just try to be friends, and then they have other agendas, or they just, I don't know, they're just two-faced, or they're just like, they just don't they're not upfront. They don't just treat you with the basic common human decency that you would expect people to. Or maybe some people are just bad at communicating or whatever it is. But yeah, basically, anyways, there's many reasons why people are like that. Maybe they're just not aligned themselves. They're all disconnected and walking around in their own funk. And it has nothing to do with you. But anyways, these cards, his friend gave us these cards. They're actually really, really cute. A tool for deeper connection and conversation with your partner. 150 prompts and best self intimacy. The funny thing about these cards is that I feel like as soon as I saw them, I started reading like the questions. So you have like how many colors? So this purple one with a person on it, which is, I believe it is about you questions. This one with a clock, which is past. This blue one with two hands forming a heart. I don't know if you can see that. Forming a heart, and that is, I believe, relationship? No, intimacy. It's intimacy. And then this heart one, I believe, is relationship. Hold on. No. Hold on. I got these mixed up. Okay, so the hands with the heart is relationship. I was right. The heart is intimacy. And this green plant one is life. And this yellow dice is random questions. So these cards, they ask you questions based on each topic. I don't even see there's different colors there. So they ask you based on each topic. And what I found is that I went through all the cards and I realized I think they're more so for people that are just either starting to date or are just very fairly new to each other, and they don't know a whole lot of things about each other. And this just like kind of breaks the ice and prompts them to ask, especially asking important questions about each other before you get into a relationship. But the thing is, my husband and I did a lot of that, asking questions at the beginning of our relationship. And I mean, we've been married for 5 years, and We do know quite a lot about each other already, so I had to I had to take out a whole bunch of cards. One second. So from each section, I took out like these are the total amount of cards I took out from the deck because I'm just like, ugh. Either I already know it or it's irrelevant because I mean we've been together for freaking 5 years and there's nothing new. I already know he already knows a lot of those questions. But I thought the rest of these would be fun to do. It just asks basic questions like, okay, like this random one right here. We just did this one today. When was the last time our relationship pushed you outside your comfort zone? Describe the situation, right? That's a random card. And let's go to a life. How how did I make you smile this week? That's a really good question, actually. Um, Intimacy. How has your childhood or upbringing shaped your sexuality? So intimacy cards, as you can see, are more like, based on intimacy and sexuality and whatever. Relationships. Um, if our relationship ends tomorrow, what three things would you miss the most? Or I feel the least love when you, or I feel the most love when you. So basically, questions like that. Past is like past. Who in your life or past do you owe an apology to? An apology, and for what? I'll just go through this quickly. And then about you, when did you realize you were in love with me? Like questions like that. I mean, even reading them now, I'm realizing some of them I actually already know the answer to. But I just thought it was a fun game for us to do. And it is turning out to be quite fun. And I want to get more like little games like that for us to just play when we're home, especially because right now we have young children and it's very hard to go out and do anything else. So I was thinking to get like a mini pool table. There's these little mini pool tables on Amazon. If you guys have tried it, please let me know. Give me a review. But there's tiny little mini pool tables. I was thinking to get that and just play like indoor pool or whatever, but not now. I'm gonna wait until we're in our new house and then see what we have room for. But basically, that's what that's my plan. And also, obviously, we're gonna go kayaking, canoeing, and stuff like that because my niece loves doing those things. And there is actually a place nearby where we live that does that, and it's like her favorite thing to do. So we're gonna do a lot more outdoor stuff. And oh my gosh, I'm just excited to find all this fun stuff. I'm already finding a whole lot of fun stuff too, as we are just like, as I'm looking through Instagram and I'm looking at the what you call them all of the area Instagram pages and stuff for different things in the area. Oh, there's so many beautiful places. I was so worried about get being away from nature and all these trees and the wildlife around me right now in our backyard. But then there's so much stuff. There's so much nature. There's so many things you can still connect with nature that are out there, and it's gonna be fun. It's actually going to be fun. I'm getting excited now. I wasn't excited, obviously, because there's so much going on. It's hard to get excited when there's so much going on, but now I'm getting excited because the things that I love about this place, I'm starting to find those things and even better where we're going. And that's a beautiful thing when you start to find the things that you love in something else that you're losing and you find those things in even more abundance in the next place you're going or the next person you're meeting or whatever. And I find that's always been the thing with me in life where anytime I feel like I'm losing something, something else much bigger and more amazing opens up where I'm going. um Even with relationships, I'm a very intimate, loving person. I'm not even focused on what I'm not, but I'm just gonna say I love to love. I love deeply, and um I love intimate and just like close connections. I like to connect with somebody. I thrive in connection more so than, just let's say sex or whatever. I thrive in connection. I actually find it very hard to have just a sexual relationship with someone without any other connection involved. But then again, that's a part of being human, isn't it? We're creatures of we're communal beings. We're creatures of connection. So a lot of times when we try to move away from that, we experience a lot of great void and pain, and try to fill this void that we can't quite quench, and then we try to get into this conquest mode where you want to conquer as many of that thing as possible, or collect or accumulate things, and then it just doesn't work out at the end of the day because that's not who we are. But anyways, that's a topic for another day. That's just self-discovery. You need to take the time to do the self-discovery. But yeah, so because of that, I even in previous relationships, I was saying I had to have a deep connection, and it was very hard sometimes to create that connection when, let's say, there was just other factors that were in the way from making those type of connections. But then any time that I felt like that relationship has expired, and I was sad, obviously, but then I was also grateful that I had experienced it. It's crazy how it always opened up to something even better, to an even better person, a person who had the exact same, the traits that I love the most about that person that I was sad about not being able to be with. And they had those traits, the good traits, and less of the negative, and like way more of the good traits, and more than I even ever imagined, more than I even asked for. And that's a part of life, right? You go through contrast, you go through unwanted and wanted, and that's how you figure out what it is that you want. So that's a part of that growth as well. So I don't know, every time things like that happened, whether it's a relationship or jobs or whatever, it always opened up opportunities for something bigger and greater. And I've always just been grateful for how my life has always been kind of always set like that. It's always like smooth, and it's just always like everything's always taken care of. I don't really stress about a lot of things, really, unless it's like something just in the moment that just like bothered me just that moment. But otherwise, in general, I don't really stress about a whole lot of things to because I kind of have an idea that something big, if it's not here now, something bigger is coming later. Okay, and yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just rambling at this point because I should be sleeping. Oh my god, it's 11:16. I should actually be sleeping because these kids are gonna wake me up early. Well, they went to sleep late today. Liam was kind of hungry, so we came downstairs and ate something. He was actually generally hungry this time. He wasn't just saying that so he doesn't sleep. It's because we only had corn. I made corn for supper, and he hadn't had anything else to eat other than corn. And kids, they don't really eat all the corn like we do. So I knew he wasn't going to be full necessarily. So I made some cereal, and we shared some cereal, and then he went to sleep. So yeah, I need some water. I'm quite thirsty. You are. What's crazy is Tuesday, shoot. And then Wednesday, I'm out of bananas, guys. I'm out of bananas, and I need bananas for breakfast tomorrow, but I'm out of bananas. I'm out of bananas. Look at this. I got apples. These poor apples. Look at them. Getting all wrinkly, dehydrated. I got oranges, I got avocados, but no bananas. I need to do something with these apples tomorrow. Maybe make something. Um, yeah, prenatal onion, prenatal supplements, bananas, some cereal, vitamin D. And good night. I'm going to bed. I hope you have a wonderful night, and I hope you have a wonderful life. And remember to always, always be kind to yourselves and always be your best friend first. Always be your best friend first. Okay?